You'll have 48 hours to clear it before city crews do, or expect to receive a pretty hefty fine.
Inches of snow, causing any of the food inside to become basically frozen solid. It all happened so fast. My story aired on a Thursday. They went to visit the duplex on a Friday, and by Saturday afternoon, they were
Explaining in detail exactly how they plan to use the $2,500.
The 95-year-old woman wandered out into the middle of the night all alone.
So if you haven't made it out here yet, I don't know what you're waiting for, because I've been told a true Scotty doesn't let just a little bit of cold keep him from some great ice cream.
Imagine being left behind by your parents at just 3 years old, becoming hooked on drugs and alcohol by 10.
My childhood was just stolen from me.
And by 12, you were living on the streets.
Living on the streets was better than going home.
Believe it or not, this is Barbara Orban's true story. She found herself young, alone, and on the streets, making her the perfect target for human traffickers.
And they just reel you in, and they're promising you the love and protection and everything that your heart is looking for. And before you know it, you're out there, you're sleeping with 20, 25 guys a day.
Barbara says she doesn't consider herself a survivor of human trafficking because, unlike so many young girls, Barbara was able to get out before it was too late.
I was just run down, beaten down, and I just called my brother from the train station and told him, I need to get off the streets.
Barbara says after that call, she was on the next train out.
It's only by the grace of God that I sit here and tell you my story, because I just surrendered my life to him. I was always like, no one's going to love me. I'm unlovable.
Her story isn't unusual. In fact, experts say more than 100,000 children fall victim to human trafficking every year in the U.S.
If you look at a child and you see a sort of an emptiness in her eyes, not the sparkle that you see in children's eyes, then you might question what is happening. Our goal is to make the people in Wisconsin very aware of the fact that this is happening, and also to ask them to do something about it.
It's huge for me because it's time to break the silence. You know what I mean? It could have been me, so I need to open my mouth.
In Marathon County, Valeria Sistrunk, News Channel 7. Before the public ever heard the names Michael Brown or Eric Gardner, the debate over police officer body cameras was already a topic of discussion for law enforcement agencies, weighing the pros, cons, and the best ways to use them.
It allows them to tell their side of the story and have a piece of evidence that clearly supports it.
The Wausau Police Department has been beta testing the body cameras for the past few days now, and Patrol Captain Matthew Barnes agrees they're a useful tool, but says they shouldn't be used to solve every issue that comes up in the future.
You can't look at the body cameras as a panacea to all the problems that occur with officers. However, if they're involved in a use of force situation, or unfortunately they would have to use their firearm, having the information available to watch and be able to see what the situation the officer was in, is going to be a benefit to those officers.
Back in September, a nationwide study showed officers who wore body cameras used less force and had a significantly lower amount of citizen complaints against them.
Both for the public and for the officers, it really makes everybody be very careful about what they're saying and how they act when everything that they're doing is being recorded.
In the days following the latest police shooting of unarmed Coast Guard veteran Walter Scott and Eric Harris, both caught on camera, body cam supporters are pushing even harder to make them mandatory. But Barnes says it's not that simple.
We also have to fund them. We're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars. Just the initial purchase is roughly $20,000 to buy the cameras, and it's an additional $20,000 to $30,000 annually to store the data.
Which is why members of Congress are now calling on President Obama to allocate funds for police cameras in the 2016 budget.
If this helps us be more professional and have the trust of the community, the people that we serve, then it's a worthwhile investment for us.
In Marathon County, Valeria Sistrunk, News Channel 7.
Hello, my name is Owen.
Meet Owen Beasley. He's just 12 years old, but only took an hour to make an electronic device that lights up to the sound of a person's voice.
We just had to solder it on, and it takes a lot of precision to do that.
This is Owen's second year at Get Smart, a program held at North Central Technical College teaching middle school students how to apply math and science to manufacturing jobs.
I like this kind of stuff. It's fun and seems like something that I'd want to do like in the future.
Get Smart allows students to explore science and math activities while using hands-on experience, like this computer, for example, which allows students to send codes to a completely different computer in a separate room just to make this yo-yo, which is pretty cool, actually.
It's really fun because if you really like welding, you can just come on down and have some fun with welding.
We want them to come here to expose them to welding, machine tool, electromechanical, and our graphics programs. We want to give them a little bit of an idea of what some of those trades involve.
Because if you don't try, you don't know if you're good at it or not.
Get Smart is also important because manufacturing is still the largest single employment sector in the state of Wisconsin.
Employers are asking for them. They're very well-paying jobs, high-skilled jobs, and they require a lot of technology and a lot of math skills. So we're really trying to push to the students that they need those math skills to be successful in these. So.
I want to go next year and the year after that because it's just a really fun program.
In Marathon County, Valeria Sistrunk, News Channel 7.